Hey, good morning. Thank you for tuning in to our water garden workshop. I'm outside the flower shop here and I'm going to get mine ready and then you guys can make yours up too. So of course you're going to want to have water handy. I'm going to reverse my camera. Maybe. Nope, apparently not. I had to haul buckets of water because we don't have a hose. So that's fun. I get to fill up those big guys by dragging water around. And of course we'll have our floating plants. And now I actually had some old baskets, mesh baskets. I had some old mesh baskets that I had my water gardens in last year because I'm not doing the floating garden. I have these big peanut baskets, but I also had to remove the old plants and plant into them, and that's what we're going to be doing today. So you're going to be getting individual plants and they're all going to be, everyone's is going to be slightly different because of the way we have to order things in certain numbers, and your kit will include one of these fancy floating gardens. Now see, 2 years ago we were able to actually get a pre-planted mesh planter of water gardens that just slipped right into the sky and it was super fat and lazy. Well, this year you're gonna have to work a little bit for your garden. So because there's a huge shortage on water gardens, so we're lucky we got these. But so the plants we got are slightly larger than normal. So instead we're having slightly less plants, and then we need to unplant them out of their baskets or pots and put them into these. And right about now I'm going to sub a picture of what your plants are looking like because I don't have them here because I have them at home. So let's pause for a minute so I can show you that picture. Okay, so now for those of you who've planted things before, this is going to be super redundant, but for those of you who haven't, you're going to be maybe a little more interested. So I'm going to see if I can set my camera down here and rotate this. Is it going to fall on its head? Probably. Hang on, technical difficulties. There we go. Okay, so clearly these are not water plants, but it's the same principle for no matter what you're planting. And I'm going to put these guys in this basket, but we're going to pretend that you guys are using this and using your water plants, but it's exactly the same otherwise. This guy, there's already dirt in there just because I had dumped some in and I'm too fat and lazy to take it out just to put it back. So for you guys, you're going to start right in here in your floating island. And I usually like to start with my tallest plant, but totally does not matter. So whenever you're planting anything, take out the spike and you want to squeeze all the way around your plant to loosen off this pot. And then supporting the top of the soil and your plant, you can just simply tap and squeeze until it comes free. Okay, now this guy, save it for next year if you maybe want to use it for planting. Recycle it, up to you. So now as you can see, this plant is perfectly in that square shape. Now you don't want to keep it like that, whether you're planting in the ground or for our water garden, so we're going to just, you can see, break that up. So now the roots are kind of able to find their way out of that shape. They're like, oh, there's more to life than just being stuck in this little square. And then for you guys, you're just going to stick it in there. Stick it in here, okay? For me, I'm going to, oh God, I'll put it in there after. And then you'll do the same thing for your other plant. Squeeze, loosen that off. And again, working the soil, and if a lot of it crumbles away and there's just root, that's fine too. Okay. So you're going to want to do that with all of your plants and get them in here. Personally, I would put the one tall guy kind of in a corner and then work the others. Now some of them, and I found this when I was planting my big pots there, But when you're taking them out of those little pots, you're going to find they're going to maybe come apart into, like divide out into 1 or 2 or maybe even 3 pieces. So if you wanted to keep those guys in a clump in here, you can definitely put them all in one spot, or you could separate it out and move it around if you wanted. Totally up to you. So get your plants where you want them, fess around a little bit, and then you're just going to want to top them up with soil. And you can put some rocks on top. It's not entirely necessary, but you can do that. So I'm going to leave you to do that. I am going to get these guys planted in here. And yeah, feel free to squish them in. They don't need to be handled with kid gloves. They're pretty hardy. Squish them in, and you know, you want this soil to be near the top here. It's going to be soaking and floating, so it's not real important, but yeah, get that planted up and then we'll move on to the next step. Okay, so hopefully you've got your island all packed, and if you're lucky enough to have a hose, you will not have to use a bucket to fill our pond container. So it's probably going to take 4 or 5 gallon pails to fill each of these guys. Let's see. Okay. So I'm going to have to get some more water and get that done up. So go ahead and fill your buckets. You may have, hopefully, I also discovered there's a shortage on the pond containers, so the ones we ordered weren't available, even though I ordered them back in March. So that's fun. So anyway, these are actually fantastic, and because they're so much larger than some small little bowl on your patio, they're going to stay cleaner longer. And I don't know about you, but less work, less having to clean them sounds like a win. Okay, so fill yours with water. I'm going to go get some more, haul it out, and then we'll show you the next step. Okay, so as you can see, mine is not a floater. So I just wanted to show you the different types. So now, 2 years ago when I got these brand new, they came pre-planted, and I just submerged a black bucket upside down, obviously let it fill with water so it wouldn't try to float up, and then just balanced this on it. And every now and then through the summer I'd have to shift it and adjust it because it would fall off a bit. But I was able this year to get some big hooks, and I'm gonna, here, come with me, because I'm doing 2 in front of the shop here. And my husband showed up, so I made him haul the water out. Thank you, Sean. So yeah, I was able to get these big hooks. So there's different ways you can do this, just for future reference. Hooks to hang them on there. Of course, the floating islands that we're doing is fantastic. And again, this is my old basket. And as you can tell, it looks like it's seen some time, and it's actually torn, and I kind of wired it back because, like, come on, it's just sitting in there. Who cares? So let's see if I can sit you guys down here. I'm balancing you on a stump. Probably not the, okay. There. So this guy. Maybe where I wired him is a little bit too fat. There we go. That works. So if you can see that. Okay, he's in there. Now your guys's, I'm gonna have to add more water, obviously. I thought it might be okay, but I need more. Your guys's are just gonna float. Right? I'm just gonna grab this, show you. So when you pop that in there, when it's all planted up, and it's gonna allow water to run in, and it's just gonna float in there. Okay? So coming back over here, and as you can hear, it's very loud out here this morning. Now, you should have a few different kinds. Let's see. Of water plants. Now this guy, this is water hyacinth. Interesting stuff. Hey, as you can see, little babies grow on the side. And then you saw when I put them in there, all these tiny little bits came off. That's actually another kind of aquatic plant. And that's good. You want that in there. It's awesome that we got some. And the other one I've got here. So you'll be getting each one of these. This is water lettuce. And he just simply goes in there like that. So just to zoom out. Okay, you're gonna have your floating island and these guys hanging out. Now, over time, there's going to be some bits that aren't as pretty. Feel free to, or it gets too big and it just takes over. Break it off. You can give it to friends. You could put it in a vase in your house. You can put it in your compost. But just to show you, yeah, just pull it off. No big deal. Like if that bothers you that brown guy's on there, so what? Just so you know, these guys probably will go through a bit of a transition when they first get put out, because of course, oh, see, I just broke this by accident. Oops. These have been in my barn where they wouldn't freeze or anything. But of course, they've been getting some sun a day, but if you got in a sunnier spot, they may get a little sunburned. So don't worry about that. They'll be okay. And we've got that those little bits as, I think my memory is serving me here. Frog bit is the name. And now we'll see. I've never had this one before. I got one other kind of floater. Let's open it up. I don't even remember what he is. I'm just going to grab a few bits of these and set them in there. Yeah, and they just kind of take off. Oh, that's a big one. See that big guy? I might just take this one and stick it in my other guy over here. Perfect. Okay. I'm gonna walk back. So there's your pond, right? Now these guys are all gonna grow through the course of the summer and be big and beautiful. And again, these bigger tubs are nice because they're gonna need less cleaning. And by cleaning, I mean this water may become disgusting and you may need to take your bits apart and set them, you know, you can set them in a bag, you can really just set them in a bucket. Well, you give it a scrub and refresh that water. But honestly, when I had mine in these big tubs 2 years ago, I never refreshed the water. All I did was keep it topped up. So I'm going to fill this up. The water line will be higher. But as long as the bottom is, and you won't have to worry about this with your floating garden, but as long as the bottom of the basket is in water, you're good. You can fertilize it if you want. You can use Miracle-Gro. I wouldn't do full strength, but you can I'd pre-mix it in some water and then pour some in if you're interested. Obviously, if you're putting fish in, I'm assuming in one of these you're not going to be putting fish in because it could just get way too hot. I've killed enough fish doing things like that. So yeah. And like I said, if you haven't got gravel on top, you can just simply grab gravel. It's a technical term there. Gravel. It's slang. Grab some rocks. They don't need to be fancy. You can just literally grab some off a gravel road and that will be sufficient on top, but it's not necessary. And that's pretty much it. Again, you want to have this guy somewhere it's going to get like 3 to ideally 6 hours of sunshine a day. This one won't because it's already, as you can tell, it's in the shade. Now it is morning, and this guy, he's going to be getting hot sun all day long, every day. So if you ever want to see the difference between the two, come to the flower shop. There'll be this one outside in the front in the hot sun, and then that guy over there who's going to get less sun, but it will get late afternoon every day, so that should be good too. I'm hoping. Yeah, so there we go. Well, hang on for a sec here. So there you have it. There's our Lumsden Florist Water Garden Workshop. And you should have your beautiful water garden all set up, ready to enjoy. And now that it is after the 1st of June, they say it's after the long weekend in May and the full moon following. After that, you should be safe to put things outside and they shouldn't freeze. So there you go. There's the old-timers tip for you. But thank you so much for joining me, Rachel with Lumsden Florist, and I hope that you are loving this and want to take some more workshops. Hopefully we'll be starting up again doing those in person, but we also have lots of cool kits available with these tutorials, so you can pause them, play them, take 3 weeks to do them for all I care, and even access them in the future, you know, if you want to just get supplies and do it again yourself. So have a wonderful day.